Okay, so today let's talk about this idea of competition. Maybe you've been in business for a while, or you've just started your business as a coach, a healer, a service-based business owner of some kind, and you're going to networking meetings, or maybe you're just scrolling online and you're noticing there's a lot of other people that do exactly what I do. And naturally, that can trigger all kinds of fears and doubts and comparison and lots of feelings and emotions that are not really serving us, right? Are not serving our greatest success in our business. So I wanted to speak to that a little bit today to help put your mind at ease and help you to really feel empowered and successful in your journey as an entrepreneur. So first of all, I want to just acknowledge that it's very common. I hear this question a lot, or I hear these fears and doubts a lot, especially among newer entrepreneurs about, there are all these other people doing this. Who am I to be just one more coach or one more of this type of service provider in the world? And maybe these other ones are already very established, and you're thinking to yourself, well, what is my contribution when people are already been out there in the world doing this for a while? I know for sure myself, I used to have those fears and doubts as well. And you may have heard this idea or this notion that, oh, it's a saturated market, it's very competitive, it's going to be really hard to be successful. I know I was hearing that message a lot from other people in my community. And I just wanted to speak to that today because I have a very different take on it. So first of all, I want to say that there is no competition, and I don't believe in saturated markets. Like, sure, coaching is a fastly growing industry, and there are lots of, whether you're a practitioner, like a healer of some kind, or any kind of whatever service it is you do, even accounting, bookkeeping, there's always going to be lots of other people that also do what you do, right? But I don't believe in this idea of a saturated market. And I'm going to explain that, one of the fundamental principles that everything that I teach revolves around is that the success, the abundance, the fulfillment, the meaning, the purpose, the joy, all the great things, all the wealth that we can possibly have in life stem from our ability to serve the divine, our ability to follow that soul's calling and to do what it's asking us to do with our life, right? Because I believe that we were put on the planet for a reason, and that if our business can become an expression of those unique gifts and talents and abilities and experiences and wisdom, there's no way you're not going to make money. And also in tandem with that, not just money, but there's no way you're not going to be successful in all the ways, whether it's around feeling fulfilled, acting in your genius zone, creating and being a powerful leader and source of impact and transformation in the world. So if you have been called to this business that you're creating, by definition, it means that there are people in the world that are waiting for you. There are people who want what you have to offer, and they're waiting for you to bring it. Okay? So in that sense, there is no competition. Those people out there in the world are waiting for you, have been calling you to this so that you can take your place, right? The second thing that I wanted to say about competition is that competition is a very good thing. I often ask my clients when we're kind of addressing the topic of their niche to go out and look at who else in the world is doing what they're doing already, because that is a great aspect of evidence of proof of concept. And what I mean by that is that it's a source of evidence that there are people out in the world making money doing what you want to do. Because if you had this brilliant genius idea and nobody else in the world is doing it, it's probably not a good sign that it's going to be a viable niche, right? Because when there are lots of people in the world doing what you want to do, it means there's money to be made. People are having viable, successful businesses. When you don't see that idea, it means either it's such a new and innovative idea that, and such on the edge, I guess, that no one's ever thought of it before, and it might be ahead of its time, right? That's a possibility. Another possibility, which I think is more likely, is that people have thought of it, but that because it wasn't viable, it wasn't successful, there isn't a lot of evidence of it still existing, right? At some point, it's probably collapsed or it didn't really get very far. So competition is a very good thing. It's a sign that there is a market for what you want to offer and other people are making a living doing it. And that is a very, very practical consideration when you're, especially when you're starting a business, right? You want to be able to help people in a way that they're going to be easily able to recognize the value of what you have to offer and be willing to invest in it. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about with regards to competition is that you are in a market by yourself, that no one can do things the way that you do them because you were born with a unique set of gifts and talents and characteristics and qualities. You also have very unique life experiences, things that you've gone through in your life. It could have been formal education, but it could also be the school of hard knocks, right? There are all kinds of things that you've been through and you've acquired a unique, set of stories and wisdom that you have to contribute that no one else can deliver, right? No one else can solve the problem that you solve in the way that you can do it, okay? So in that sense, you're in a class by yourself. And the third thing that I wanted to say about competition is that while on the surface, and this is a very kind of deep and spiritual perspective on our place in the business market, while on the surface, we put out our services and the transformation we provide in terms of solving a problem to create, a tangible outcome or a transformation for people. And that's also true, right? We're helping people, we're solving problems and whatnot, but also realizing that on a spiritual level or on an energetic level, people are really coming to be initiated by our energy, right? Have you ever noticed when you see someone on stage or you just meet somebody and you just really like their energy, you really feel attracted to them, you just have this feeling like, ooh, like I like what they've got, I want to hear more kind of thing. That is that resonance, that you are being attracted to their medicine, and that your medicine, if you'd like, I love using that term because I think we all are a puzzle piece in other people's journeys and provide a medicine that helps them to get to their next level, right? So by being the frequency that you are and really showing up and expressing the fullness of who you are, saying the things that you need to say, being yourself in all the ways, people can feel that frequency and they're drawn to it. And that is actually a sign that you're attracting your ideal clients, right? Your ideal clients will be drawn to your energy. Your ideal clients will say things like, oh my gosh, I know I need to work with you, right? And that's really what they're coming for. They're coming to be steeped in your energy and the unique aura, the unique frequency that you create that contains all sorts of wisdom and insight and knowledge that they want to be immersed in for a while, and that's going to be the transformation for them, right? So don't get hung up on this idea that the value that I provide is in, worksheets or certain action steps or certain, like logistical things. Those are hoops that we jump through. Those are actions we take in the 3D world, but realizing that what they're really receiving, that through all of these different permission slips in the form of activities and actions and all that, they're really being initiated into your frequency and receiving the medicine that your presence, your attention, your wisdom provides for them. So when you look at it that way, there's just such a tremendous wealth that you have inside of you to share, that you don't have to convince anyone, that you don't have to prove anything, that you don't need a ton of letters after your name to demonstrate the power of what you have to offer, right? You just are. And that's a really beautiful, grounded, solid, confident place to be. So I really wish that for you. And I really hope that this video has helped give you some insight and inspiration around your relationship to competition. I really recommend that you just notice and bring some awareness to those moments when you're catching yourself getting doubtful. Like, what is it that you were looking at or experiencing that triggered the doubts? And seeing if you can just notice, oh, that's just my ego talking. That's just that part of me that is so afraid of growing and expanding, and be able to see it from a higher perspective in the way that we looked at today. So if you found any value from this video, please give it a like. And if you feel called, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be adding more new videos on a regular basis. And thank you so much for watching.